Welcome to the Sunday Painter. Please click and subscribe, hit the like button and don't forget the little bell so you will be the first when we have an inspirational idea. Leave a happy creative comment.
Here are our top 10 masterpieces starting with number 10. Venus de Milo, Louvre Museum, Paris. This sculpture has survived for over 2,100 years, with the exception of the original arms. It dates all the way back to between 100 and 130 BC, and depicts Aphrodite, or Venus to the Romans, the Greek goddess of love and beauty. Made of marble, it is slightly larger than life-size, and is one of the most famous ancient Greek sculptures. It was discovered in a farmer's field in the Greek island of Melos in 1820, and soon acquired by France. Botticelli's famous painting, The Birth of Venus, was executed in the middle of the 1480s. At the start of the 16th century, the painting hung together with Primavera in the country villa of the Medici in Castello. Venus is standing in the center of the picture on a seashell floating in the water. According to classical mythology, she sprang from the foaming waters of the sea. This froth had formed around the genitals of Uranus, god of the sky, his son Cronus having cut them off and thrown them into the sea as an act of revenge for the cruelty perpetrated by his father. The Starry Night, 1889 by Vincent van Gogh. Widely hailed as Van Gogh's magnum opus, the painting depicts the view outside his sanatorium room window at night, although it was painted from memory during the day. The Starry Night depicts a dreamy interpretation of the artist's asylum room's sweeping view of Saint Remy de Provence. Though Van Gogh revisited this scene in his work on several occasions, Starry Night is the only nocturnal study of the view. The Scream by Edvard Munch. This is part of a series of expressionist paintings by Edvard Munch. The background is a landscape in Norway, and depicts a screaming figure symbolizing the anguishes of modern life. There are 4 versions, painted between 1893 and 1910. 2 of them are now in Oslo's National Gallery, while another is in the same city's Munch Museum. The 4th was sold in 2012 for close to $120 million. The oldest version, from 1893, is in the National Gallery, and was stolen in 1994 but recovered months later. Another version was stolen in 2004 from the Munch Museum, and recovered in 2006. Guernica is a large 1937 oil painting on canvas by Spanish artist Pablo Picasso. One of Picasso's best-known works, Guernica is regarded by many art critics as one of the most moving and powerful anti-war paintings in history. It is exhibited in the Museo Reina Sofia in Madrid. The gray, black, and white painting, which is 3.49 meters, 11 feet 5 inch, tall and 7.76 meters, 25 feet 6 inch, across, portrays the suffering of people and animals wrought by violence and chaos. Prominent in the composition are a gored horse, a bull, screaming women, dismemberment, and flames. Picasso painted Guernica at his home in Paris in response to the bombing of Guernica, a Basque country town in northern Spain, by Nazi Germany and Fascist Italy at the request of the Spanish nationalists. Pietà by Michelangelo, St. Peter's Basilica, Rome. Michelangelo was just 25 years old when he presented this life-sized sculpture of the Virgin Mary holding Jesus Christ in Rome St. Peter's Basilica, in 1500. He had observed dead bodies as a teenager, and that may explain the realism in this dead Christ that other sculptors never achieved. Also remarkable is the fact that it was all sculpted from one single block of marble. David by Michelangelo. This is perhaps the greatest masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture. Michelangelo created it between 1501 and 1504 out of marble, representing the nude body of biblical hero David. Measuring 5.17 meters, 17 feet, it stood in Florence's main square but is now in the city's Accademia Gallery to protect it from damage. A replica has replaced it at the original location. Named after Pope Sixtus, the Sistine Chapel is perhaps the most famous chapel in the world. It is renowned both for its function as the papal conclave and for its incredible artwork. The ceiling and western wall of the Sistine Chapel are adorned with some of the most astonishing paintings in the world created by the famous artist, Michelangelo Buonarroti. Michelangelo was commissioned to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel in 1508 and he completed his work in 1512. The middle section depicts 9 stories from the book of Genesis, including the renowned creation of Adam where the hand of God is seen reaching to Adam to instill him with life. Leonardo's Last Supper is among the most famous paintings in the world. In its monumental simplicity, the composition of the scene is masterful. The power of its effect comes from the striking contrast in the attitudes of the 12 disciples as counterpoise to Christ. Leonardo portrayed a moment of high tension when, surrounded by the apostles as they share Passover, Jesus says, "One of you will betray me." All the apostles, as human beings who do not understand what is about to occur, are agitated, whereas Christ alone, conscious of his divine mission, sits in lonely, transfigured serenity. Only one other being shares the secret knowledge, Judas, who is both part of and yet excluded from the movement of his companions. In this isolation he becomes the second lonely figure, the guilty one, of the company. It's the masterpiece of all masterpieces, the most famous, most discussed and most enigmatic of all paintings. It's the portrait of a woman, said to be named Lisa Gherardini, painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1503 and 1506. It's been on permanent display in Paris since 1797, except for a period of 2 years when it was stolen in 1911, before returning to the Louvre in 1913. The depicted smile has continuously captured the world's imagination ever since. You know her better as Mona Lisa. This is our top 10. What is yours?